Yeah, well, let me first, Nolan, defend faculty,
Okay.
uh, it, because now I get why not only administrators but faculty think and talk and act the way they do. Because I just for the last 10 years, been studying. So much of this stuff is targeted at us. It's targeted at higher ed. I mean, it's no accident that some of the major players in the book are at Columbia University, Georgetown, and so forth. I mean, foundations and corporations have known, and because they're very smart, they're very savvy politically, that if we can convince people in education that education is failing, end of story. We can go home. We're all done. And so, I mean, John Shelton, who's a good friend of mine, president of AFT Wisconsin, wrote a great book called The Education Myth. And John and I talk often about how oftentimes our hardest audience is actually in the academy, right? I mean, I talk to people in business all the time, and told them about my book, and what's it about? And I summarize it in a sentence or two, and they say, yeah, I guess there aren't very many good jobs, huh? I guess there aren't any guarantees if your kid gets a 4-year degree. It's like it's not a stretch for them, right?
Right.
And yet there's an awful lot of folks in the academy, and again, I'm defending them because this is all we've heard, right? It continues to be all we've heard, right? All we hear, rather. I read a piece in Inside Higher Ed the other day, and it reduces Trumpism and authoritarianism to, well, we didn't sell higher ed enough, right? We didn't promote our ability to lift people up economically. In other words, it doesn't address what's happening in the bigger system at all. It blames us, right? The whole gist of it was to blame the piece was to blame higher ed for its own, problems now, right? So this is the whole ecosystem within which we exist. So so that's my kind of defense of why so many of our colleagues, I think, appear to be a little bit hesitant. And also my explanation as to why, as you said a moment ago, there's not a lot of voices very publicly or in a vocal sense critiquing the corporate takeover of the university and that sort of thing, because there are not incentives to do that. I mean, you're not going to advance at your local university, not at all. You'll be
Shunned.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So so I get that too, but I can't unsee what I've researched. I mean, I can't, and all the data that is misleading is a pretty, well, I'll just say it's misleading for and all these numbers you know that I write about in the book. I mean, yeah, it was very troubling what I discovered, and yet it explained everything at the same time.